for some reason, with these later seasons of The Simpsons, I say later, season 17's not even halfway through, but later as in basically anything after season 14, my opinions seem to differ quite a lot from the overall ratings. Episodes I like, people seem to hate. Episodes I didn't like, people seem to love. However, Homer and Marge turn a couple play seems to be one where I agree with everybody else. The overall rating for this is the 22nd, the last episode of season 17. The overall rating on IMDb is 6.3 out of 10. For The Simpsons, that's a low rating. Even for season 17, that's a low rating. And I was really relieved to see that, because after I finished watching it, I thought I didn't care for it. There wasn't really anything in it that I think worked well, and I was relieved to see that it wasn't just me. It starts off at a ball game. In fact, a lot of it's at the ball game, or various ball games, and Homer and Marge end up giving marriage counselling to one of the players and their partner, who is she's a singer, but she's also a pole dancer. I don't know if that's officially or if it's just what she's doing, but certainly there's this promiscuous aspect of her career, and her baseball player partner doesn't like that, and their marriage is, in turmoil, and Marge and Homer end up giving them marriage counselling, and that in itself is interesting. We do get some interesting thoughts on Marge and Homer's relationship, and some quite sweet moments that show, they've been through a lot together, they're always there for each other. The moment in the kitchen where Marge asks to speak to Homer, I thought was quite sweet, and that played out quite well. But other than that, I can't think of anything I enjoyed. I thought the pacing was very slow. Not a lot happened. The multiple Duffmans, that was brief but interesting enough. I think that just sounded interesting more than anything else. But honestly, I can't think of anything else that worked well. It wasn't, the dialogue wasn't that engaging. The animation quality was fine. The bit where Homer pours out all the baseballs, I thought the sound effects there were brilliant, to the point where it wouldn't surprise me if they made those sound effects by pouring out a bag of baseball balls. It sounded, pretty realistic, and I enjoyed it, and that was animated quite well. But honestly, I didn't care for it. I really didn't. And while I'm not a big sports fan, I do have a mild interest in baseball, so I don't mind it when animated shows focus on baseball, because I find it to be, a reasonable setting, but it just wasn't interesting. I don't have anything else to say. I feel like I'm grappling for something to say, something positive or something deep and insightful, and I just have nothing. It was, other than, having an interesting look at Marge and Homer's relationship, but I feel like they could have lent into that a little bit more and done a bit more with that. So I don't know, Homer and Marge turn a couple play is just not one that I have very many thoughts about at all. Not that many positive thoughts, not that many negative thoughts either. It was slow, but it wasn't like it was offensive or I didn't believe the motivations of the characters. It was very much just dull, and I can't imagine I'd watch it again.